Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you all a fond welcome back to Gothic. So, in the last couple episodes, of course, we dealt with the swamp camp initiation and everything, but we did not actually follow through with it, because that is not who I plan to join. But, I wanted to see...
Let's fight.
Follow.
If maybe we now have a shot at defeating Kirgo. We don't need to. We've done enough to be accepted. We've done enough to be accepted in the old camp, but
right. Let's
still want to give it a try.
May the best.
Alright, so he does not do that. Oh wow. I can't. No, none of the buttons were fucking working. Jesus. That is annoying. As I've said many times, it's not really the control scheme that bothers me, it's the input detection. It's really screwed up. And it bugs the heck out of me. So let's give that another try, and because it's just like a weird glitch where as soon as you get hit, all the input from that point on is really screwy.
What do you You're learning fast.
Oh, come on, you stupid. I just wanted to talk to you without you doing your weird dance the whole time. See what I mean?
Let's fight. Are you ready?
Follow me.
Here we are. You were saying?
Right. Let's get...
Fuck off! Seems like I hardly have a chance here, but keep trying. Damn!
Don't try that again.
Alright, so I don't think we really have a shot. Bottom line is we aren't strong enough, and we are not tough enough. Or we need better armor if we hope to stand a chance. I could improve my strength, which might make that a bit easier. I might do that in the meantime. Mud still hasn't found his way back. I'm not really sure what his deal is. He ran into the castle. I've not seen him since. Normally he would, once we've gone far enough away, he would despawn and then respawn where he's scripted to be, but maybe he's just stuck in there somewhere, or maybe he's just run off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
Let us strengthen ourselves. 15 points of that good stuff.
Your strength. Come back.
Puts us at 40 strength. So we can wield better weapons now, but no one really has any to offer yet. But let us see, just for humor's sake, if this is enough to give us a fighting chance against Kirgo. Because we're having kind of the same problem we had with Shrike, which is just he's taken us down too quickly. It's not that we don't have the potential to beat the snot out of him. We just have to make sure we don't get hit.
Let's fight.
Follow me. Right.
That's more like it. Fuck off. There we go, that's what I like to see. He's got a lot of swords. I think that's a glitch where, like, when he comes in here and he does his, like, sword exercises, I think for some reason he spawns a new sword every single time. Which is kind of hilarious. Come on, raise yourself, brother.
You'll be sorry for that.
Will I?
You've given me a fair thrashing, man. It was a good fight, but now it's over.
He was a lot friendlier before. He's terrified of me now, that's why. Alright, Scatface.
I fought Kirgo.
And you defeated him. That's not bad for a beginner like you. I'm impressed.
And there we have it. Oh, we still have 11 learning points left. What they're called skill points in this game, I forgot. Learning points are Gothics 2 and 3, and possibly Risen, I don't really remember. Yeah, well, let's restore ourselves. Huh. Snap doesn't seem to mind having one in Mud's hut. You know what? Mud did kind of give us permission to use it, and he has not come back to rescind that offer. Right, left, left, right, left, left, left. Huh. Had more than I expected the fool to have.
Hey, you!
Oh, I guess he does care. What?
You got no business in there. Beat it.
Alright. Goodbye. Okay, now. I think, just to see what comes of it, might as well make the time, or take the time to encounter Bloodwind. So I've been putting this off for a while just because I haven't really wanted to deal with all the downsides of this. Didn't really want to deal with all the drawbacks, all the consequences of this too soon before we were strong enough.
Are you talking to me?
I'm warning you, people like you can get into trouble awfully quick round here. And most of the guys they chuck in here are bastards. They think they can do what they like to you, but we won't allow that. Gomez wants some peace in the camp, and we guards make sure he gets it, but it's a job that doesn't come cheap. That's why I'm asking you for some ore. Look on it as a kind of token of friendship. You help us, and we'll help you. If you get in trouble, we'll be there for you.
You mean you want me to pay protection money? No thanks. I can take care of myself.
Have it your own way, kid. You'll soon regret turning down a friendly offer.
Oh, will I?
See ya.
Take care of yourself, kid.
So, he's not as friendly as Bloodwind, but he doesn't quite phrase it in such a way that makes it seem like he's threatening you. But it turns out that's exactly what he's doing, so because we declined his offer, that's gonna come back to bite us soon. And that's why I wanted to put it off until I was sure that we were strong enough to deal with whatever kind of unpleasantness he cares to throw our way. Down there are some blood flies. We might be able to kill wolves for once, which means we can take a look in this camp up here. I have to be able to kill these things pretty quick now. Fuck off. Bonk. That's just really satisfying to kill blood flies with a good old solid whack. Yeah, thank you very much. Now let's see. We can handle Wolfface up here. Let him do his threatening thing. That was not what I wanted to do. Yeah, it wasn't so bad at all, was it? Shit. Right, left, right, right, left, right. I got that broken lockpick back at least. And this one. Left, right, right, left. Perfect. Now, I realize I forgot to even actually address it, but the last thing we really have to do is the test of faith. So we have to go to the old mine and talk to a man named Ian and get the list from him. And this here helps us out, tells us where we are. We're kind of that very faint arrow in the middle. And then the orange X is where we need to go. So had we taken the path through the woods as the map implies, we would actually run into some pretty nasty animals in there. Most of which we could probably deal with. Once again, we've got a lurker. I guess now is a good time as ever to test and see if we are yet strong enough to actually engage them. Oh! Strong enough to hurt them. Problem is the buttons are still not working. Whoa, he can attack while moving? I can't do that in Gothic 2. Alright, so we can kill him now. It's not exactly pleasant, but that means we can also take care of the damn lurker if we find ourselves back in the new camp, which we will. So that's good to know. Alright, come here, beastie. Now over there you can see a lot of goblins. Those are not the ordinary... Oh shit. Wow! My Gothic 2 instincts came back to bite me. Fucking off. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was terrible. So what happened there is I have the inventory button bound to tab. And when I play Gothic 2, tab is the button I use to lock onto enemies. And so out of instinct I tried to lock onto the thing instead of just open up my menu. So that was a quite egregious error on my part. Oh dear. What are you doing? Silly lizard. Now, one weird thing which you might have noticed is that if you block or attack... Oh yeah, what I was saying was those goblins over there, they're actually black goblins, which are substantially harder than the ordinary type, such as those over there. So fighting them is not what we want to do right now. But yeah, there's like the AI for lots of creatures in this game has them do that sort of backstep dodge when you attack or block when they get within a certain distance of you. Now with attacking, of course, that's a real problem, because if you attack too soon, you're just gonna miss. If you attack at that certain point, they're just gonna dodge it, which means you have a very narrow window right before, like right as they start their attack, but right before they hit you, where you can actually land a blow on them. So the easiest way to do it is to actually block their first attack, and that gives you an opening to attack them afterwards. Now the drawback with that, of course, is that they will also backstep when you do that, so you missed your dodge window because their AI has them backpedal. By the time they get up to attack you again, your own block will have also stopped. So the idea is to block a little bit early and hold it until the enemy attacks, and then you block it, and then there's your chance. So I'll try and demonstrate it in real time again when we fight another one of those types of animals. Shall we try and take on the goblins? I think we can do it. I mean, not the black goblins, these ones over here, I mean. These ones are a paltry threat by comparison. Ah, bugger, I can't lock on. Oi, with that. That was a bit annoying. The lock-on is another of the more significant problems in this game. Very similar to Risen, except the problem with this one is even after an enemy is knocked down, you will not break your lock-on until you've canceled, until you've released left-click or your focus button, and also any animations your character is currently doing have stopped. So that means, like, if I attack, I can't change who I'm locked onto until the attack animation is stopped. So if I try to focus on another enemy and attack him instead, sometimes it'll just keep attacking the corpse of the thing I already killed. And it's very annoying. So, well, we've survived. There's a bit of a valley here with some glitched mountains in the distance. You see that seems to be a big old texture missing. But no matter. This here slightly fortified position is in fact the old camp. Nobody ever is really outside. Once in a while, the Templars that we were told about from Kane, they show up here. And the implication is that they show up here to collect the minecrawler secretion from the Templars who are stationed inside. But they never actually go inside, and no one ever comes outside, simply because they, I guess they couldn't program any way for NPCs to actually travel between the interior, between the different locations that are divided by loading screens. I guess you can call them cells or something like that. They have no way in. It seems like it was just a problem with the engine, because oh no, what is this glitchy madness? That is annoying. I hope that doesn't continue. I am suddenly remembering the problem I had in the first video. It seems like it depends on which way I'm facing. So hopefully we can mostly avoid that. But what was I saying? Yeah, and NPCs cannot actually travel between the loading screens. So anytime you see an NPC who seems to exist on two sides of one loading screen, what they've actually done is they have the NPC in both locations at once, essentially. In this game, there's a part where Gorn is actually supposed to follow you into a dungeon. And what's actually happening is that Gorn is also inside the dungeon at the same time. So if you ever have the opportunity to get into the dungeon early, even if Gorn's not following you on the outside, he'll be following you inside by default. Because you're only supposed to be able to get in there when Gorn's around. And in Gothic 2, the same thing happened. If anyone inside the Valley of Mines, for example, came outside, they would spawn a second copy of that NPC in the other world and just kill the first copy, essentially. There's actually a really funny Easter egg, I suppose. If you manage to get past the Orc Palisade in the Valley of Mines in the second game, you can find a cave out there, and inside the cave are bodies of any NPC who has actually followed you back to Corinus. And it's something I'll touch on, because I never ended up doing it in my actual Gothic 2 walkthrough. Good lord, fucking hell. I really don't know why it's doing that. Oh my god, it's only getting worse.
Can you tell me anything about the mine?
Well, this part we're standing in now is the main shaft. A system of catwalks takes you down to the bottom. And they're digging for ore everywhere. But you need to be careful. There are many mine crawlers there as well. Right at the bottom is the smelting place. We're smelting a part of the ore to use it right there.
What do I need to look out for in the mine?
Mine crawlers, mainly. Dangerous beasts. We've had to give up a few caves because of them. They've eaten quite a few diggers, too.
Tell me about the crawlers.
Oh, but my tongue's so dry. You bring me a beer, and I'll tell you something about the crawlers.
Here, drink to my health.
Thanks. Well, crawlers live in large packs, mostly in the side caves. They've never attacked us here in the main shaft yet. If you ever meet one of them, run. Or stand with your back to the wall. That way you may stand a chance.
Tell me more about it.
If you want to know more, go to Viper. He's the smelter. Or talk to Ian. He's the boss. He organizes everything here in the mine.
Where can I find Ian?
He's right in the middle of the main shaft, next to the storeroom. Oh, one more thing. You know Thoris, don't you? Forget him. There's just one person who has the say in here, and that's Ian. He's the boss. If you get into trouble with him, you'll be in trouble with us all. Understood?
I got you, brother. Now I just have to point out something fairly amusing about this guy if he was standing in the light again. You'll notice he has a white face, and he has black skin everywhere else.
May I pass?
I don't know why they screwed that up and why it never got fixed. Unfortunately, it's just all the particle effects in the menus and everything that are glitching out like that. I have no idea how to stop it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have spent days trying to figure out how to solve this problem, and I have found nothing whatsoever. Truth be told, a couple hours ago, I thought I had it. This flickering problem was not happening, but it turns out that was not the solution, because now that I'm playing again, it is starting to happen again. So I don't know what to do about it. I've done everything. I've tried a different install that had none of these mods and anything. I have tried updating my drivers. I've just tried everything I could think of, and nothing whatsoever has helped. And so we're just going to have to endure this problem. That's the bottom line. I'm too heavily invested in this walkthrough to give up for such a stupid reason. So, we're just going to have to deal with it. Unfortunately, this problem is probably going to present itself anytime we do any underground levels. I just simply don't know how to get rid of it. And if any of you have any idea how to deal with it, I would much appreciate it. But I've delayed this walkthrough for several days trying to figure out this problem. I simply cannot solve it. You see, like so many things, the rock textures, it's not really the rock textures, it's the ones that have the spider webs and all that kind of shit over it. And when I face a certain direction, the problem seems to stop. I don't know why that is. So there's nothing I can do about it, really. So let's see, do you have anything interesting to say? No, nothing whatsoever. Well, there's not a whole lot of interesting people here, but there's a fellow over here who seems to be kind of taking it easy.
The guards will never get me.
What do you mean?
I only work when the guards are nearby, or they can see me. Otherwise, I just hang around here.
Don't they get suspicious?
Yeah, well, of course I dig less ore than all the others do. It's not always enough, so I have to do a bit of trading. I keep my ears open, so I get to know many useful things. You don't happen to have some ore on you? Let's say about 10 ore?
Anything this guy offers you, any information he offers for ore is pretty much worth it, so might as well give it to him.
All right, here's 10 ore for you.
Thanks. If you go to the main shaft and follow the catwalks further down, you'll soon get to 2 side caves. There's a guard in the second one, and there's also an old masher. There's a healing potion lying about somewhere, but be careful, and beware of the crawlers. And if you need or hear something, come back to me. I'm sure I'll be able to help.
So that one wasn't particularly worthwhile. You can find that healing potion either way, and you're probably going to when you do some exploring in this cave later. But it was worth that 10 ore to get at some of the other information he has, which is much more important, and you can't really get any of it without talking to him.
Have you got any other useful information?
Sure. Have you got 10 ore?
I expect good information for my ore.
There's loads of locked chests here. Glenn, the digger at the top, can get you a couple of lockpicks.
And
Good
that's
luck.
Well, you know where to find me.
And that's important because Glenn will not sell you lockpicks without having that tip from Aleph. You have to kind of approach him with it. He's a little under the table, as it were. Now, if you were of such a mind that you wanted to report Aleph and feel like you're being a good Samaritan, well, go ahead and try it.
Listen, when you're not there, Aleph just sits around there all the time without doing any work.
Is that true? Do you know what I despise even more than lazy bones? Traitors. So just get lost.
You ran me down with Brandick? Get lost.
And so you earn nothing whatsoever for your attempts at good Samaritanism. So it's not worth it at all to try and rat the fellow out. He's a very useful ally down here. So might as well keep him on our good side. Holy moly. And if you're wondering who Aleph was talking about, this is Glenn here. He's right at the top near the entrance. That's Drake over there. So he's right over here, and you can have a word with him.
What should I keep in mind when I'm in the mine?
Beware of the mine crawlers. The further you get down, the closer you get to the beasts. Those rotten creatures come directly from Beliar's realm. You can hear them scraping and scratching. They're sitting in the dark just waiting for you. I've seen them kill. They're merciless and fast. If you enjoy being alive, you shouldn't be down here. You better go before something happens to you.
I already went through all that. So it's weird. He kind of has an accent, but you can tell it's not his natural accent. Sounds a bit funky. But let's approach him with the idea of the lockpicks.
I heard I could buy lockpicks here.
Well, since you were brainy enough to find that out, you can have some. 10 ore apiece.
And that's the standard price for lockpicks. He also will sell you his pickaxe, but he's got those either way. Now, lockpicks are pretty valuable. We've got... how many do we have? We've got 14 as it stands. We'll probably find enough that having those 14 won't really matter, but I'll trade him 1 sword for 5 more lockpicks. And he just stole your lump of ore. Hope you don't mind. Sorry for distracting you. Alright. I'm not going to explore the extent of this mine right now. I'm going to do a lot more later because we will have a reason to come back here. So for now, we're pretty much going to deal with everything up until Ian himself. So, everything on the absolute bottommost 2 levels of this mine we'll save for another time, because that has a lot to do with the mine crawlers, which I don't really want to deal with for now.
How's things?
I have a deal to suggest. If you make Aaron leave the chest alone, I'll give you 10 ore.
Now, I just have to point out that the sound design is actually
Yeah, sure.
surprisingly good in this game. I thought this was kind of before you could really get this kind of technology, but you heard that anyone inside here, their voice echoes quite realistically. Maybe not that realistically, and games in the modern day might be able to do a little bit better, but you just don't see it that often. The way his voice was echoing and all the NPCs in here, there's just like an added element to it that just makes it just more believable. I really feel like I'm in a cave when I'm talking to these people, which also makes me feel like Snipes might have been talking a little too loud, like Aaron should have probably heard what he was talking about. But either way, let's see if we can pull this off.
What are you doing here?
I'm watching diggers like Snipes over there to make sure they keep their hands off my chest.
Is that what Gomez pays you to do? To watch your own chest? Whatever. Let's try and find a way. Diggers have found a massive ore nugget. I don't think that would convince him too much. He probably wouldn't care. I heard there are gangsters in the mine here. I think he would know about that by now. He seems like a fellow who's kind of a kiss up to his boss, so let's try and dupe him this way.
Ian sent me. You should go to see him at once.
What does he want?
He wants to give you a reward? Nah, I get the feeling Ian's not quite such a benevolent character. He'll kill you? Nah, that's a bit of a stretch. No idea. Well, you know, if we're just playing Messenger, we don't necessarily need to know what message he has in mind.
No idea. Ian will tell you that himself. You think he'd tell me something like that?
Then I'll go to see him.
Damn right you will. And we're gonna wait for him to walk off. Truth be told, you don't really need to, because once again, he's too deaf to realize that we're kind of mocking him with Aleph behind his back.
You owe me 10 ore.
Here, you've already earned the 10 ore. Oh, and one more thing. I have the key to his chest as well. For you, only 30 ore.
Give me the key.
You made good business there.
I just wonder what you get out of it.
I'm always glad when I can get one over on the gods. And if they found the content of the chest with me, I'd be a dead man.
So in the end, you make out with 20 ore for your quite clever deals. So I guess you're a better businessman than we were giving you credit for. So Alice's chest has a beer, 1 healing scroll, and 72 ore. So in the end, we paid 20 ore and got quite a bit more out of it. So that was a good deal on our part, certainly. Well, what do we have here? Ulbert.
What's in the storeroom?
That's none of your business.
Is that so?
Standing around for so long must make you thirsty.
You bet, man. I could use a good
Whoops, I skipped that by accident.
Here you go. Have one on me as well.
Thanks.
Have to watch him take a good old swig of that,
Is there anything special in the storeroom now?
Some chest that we store supplies in. The keys disappeared, though.
Disappeared?
I bet Aleph was involved. That guy can't be trusted.
Aleph, eh? Oh, I have to pay that fellow yet another visit. Oh.
A new face. Have you ever dug ore, boy?
Can't say that I have.
Have you been here long?
I've already been here 10 years. Oh, believe me, I've learned and experienced quite a lot here. I've encountered many dangers and managed to stay alive. In the old times, when we worked in the abandoned mine, the one which is deserted now, and the supporting beams collapsed. But that's old stories.
Oh, Grimes, he never likes to tell us stories. We meet this guy again in Gothic 2, and he kind of does the same thing. But if you play Gothic 1, the story he's referencing there is actually something important that happens here as well. So, it's interesting. He's one of few people who actually mentions the old mine. It was a dungeon that did not make it into the final game. A lot of mods were able to restore it and kind of worked it into their own designs. But it would have been cool to see what it would have turned out if Piranha Bytes had their way. It's one of those things that you hear about, but it never really got the and it never got finished. And in fact, if you use Marvin mode commands, you can get past the gate at the abandoned mine, which I guess I should have mentioned is the mine that you see barred up at the beginning of the game. And if you get through that using cheats, you can actually you can walk through the tunnel and you enter sort of a loading screen. And on the other side, all you find is just a black, it's just a black level. There's nothing in it. They did not fill it with anything at all. It's more that the area transition didn't lead to anywhere, because there is an abandoned mine map, a level, that a lot of mods will restore, and you can tell that it was what the level was supposed to be, and that they just removed it and removed the area transition altogether. So yeah, I don't know. There have been a lot of mods to try and restore it. None of them have worked, and probably the only ones that actually made it work were all in Polish. So unfortunately, us English types have not been able to experience that thing. So let's go on.
You must have heard about many escape plans as well.
Listen, boy, I know you want to get out of here, but forget it. You better forget the thought of escape. I saw the faces of those who tried to get out of the barrier. Don't make the same mistake. The barrier will stop everybody.
I don't want to dig in the mine for the next 10 years of my life.
No, you won't. Perhaps you'll be one of the real big shots. Who knows? You'll work your way up. But no matter how far you'll get, the barrier will finally stop you.
So he's one of those sort of...
Same to you, boy. Same to you.
He's one of those sort of wizened yet cynical characters. He's clearly spent a lot of time here, and the way he said it, it seems like he's sort of traumatized by... It was almost like a PTSD sort of syndrome with his experiences with the barrier. Obviously, he hasn't tried to get through it himself, otherwise he would have died. But I feel like some of his closest friends tried to escape, and he watched them suffer a very gruesome death by electrocution when they tried to pass through it. So it's clear that the barrier, everyone sort of lives around the barrier in one way or another. Most of the people in the old camp, they live to the extent that, they quietly acknowledge that their influence does not extend beyond the barrier, yet they try to be as powerful as they can possibly be within those limits. And then other people, namely the new camp and the sector camp, operate on the ideal that they will one day overcome the barrier. So everyone kind of copes with it in their own way. But the bottom line is the barrier is sort of the ultimate equalizer, as it were.
Hey, you! If you try to make a fool out of me again, you've had it. You got that?
Hey, don't you miss the key to your chest?
Indeed. I don't even want to guess how or why you know about the key. But I'll give you 20 ore if you get it back for me.
Wow, that's how much Aleph gave us for it, or charged us for it.
Here's your key.
Yeah, that's it. Well, here's your 20 ore like we agreed. But you'd better watch out in future. From now on, I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Wow, in spite of all this guy's tough talk,
Let me pass.
we've done. Oh, shut up. In spite of all this guy's tough talk, we've done nothing but make a profit off of him. So, ha! More the fool are you. Alright, Ian, I've got a couple words actually to say to you.
Are you Ian, the boss of the mine?
Yeah, I'm Ian, and this is my mine, so don't touch or break anything.
Whatever you say.
Isn't that Gomez's mine?
Yeah, of course, this is the mine of the old camp. But in here, there's only one boss, and that's me.
Can you tell me something about the ore production here?
We dig for ore day and night. This means a storage of 200 sacks per month, and another 20 sacks which will be melted down. Hundreds of blades can be forged with the ore we supply to the gang.
I've heard that the ore has magical qualities. Tell me about it.
The magic ore does have special qualities. Weapons forged from it don't break. Their blades are sharper than usual ones. An army equipped with these weapons has a decisive advantage in battle.
Tell me more about the ore.
Unfortunately, the magic powers of the ore vanish during the smelting process. They know the right smelting technique in the blast furnaces of Nordmar. But even without the magic powers, weapons made from this ore are extremely resistant and do more damage than normal weapons.
So in-game, that is the first and only time we hear of the land of Nordmar outside of Gothic 3. Nordmar, of course, is the land of the barbarians, north of Myrtana. And that is where the Great Ore Furnace is located, and where the largest of the ore mines outside of Corinus are. So the traditions of the barbarians for thousands of years have been centered around their warrior culture and the weapons, these incredible weapons they produce with the magic ore. And the paladins and soldiers of the Kingdom of Myrtana depend on this ore only recently, during the war, this current war with the orcs, where it was found that these weapons, in spite of the fact that they don't know how to produce them with their magical properties intact, the physical nature of the ore simply produces superior weapons to anything you can make out of weapons-grade steel. So, all in all, it's still an incredible trading resources and ultimately priceless to the king, which is why he's willing to put up with all this assorted nonsense here in the colony, being owned by convicts and everything.
Tell me about the mine.
If you want to look around here, you need to be careful. There are mine crawlers in the caves. You better stay in the main shaft. And leave the Templars alone. Even if they only hang around most of the time, they're the best fighters you can ever have at your side when it comes down to the crawlers.
I'll keep that in mind.
I have some work to do, and don't keep my boys from doing their work.
I'll just have a look around.
Jesus. Here. So there we see kind of the alliance. I wouldn't really say it's much of an alliance, just sort of an agreement with the occasional envoy from the swamp camp they have some of their Templars here. Their only purpose is to try and collect the secretion from the mine crawlers. And obviously the guards and shadows from the old camp don't mind having them there, because as long as they're there to hunt the mine crawlers, that's fewer mine crawlers to interrupt their mining production. So it's ultimately a win-win arrangement between the two of them.
Diego sent me. I'm to collect the list.
All right, here's the list. Tell him to hurry up with the deliveries.
So be it.
I'll just have a look around.
Don't make any trouble.
Now, there are a couple merchants down here. Alberto is one of them.
Can I trade things with you?
Yep, anything you want, if you have ore.
You don't have anything I want, but you do have ore. So I will sell you one sword for that ore. Actually, you've got a lot of healing potions. That's, not bad at all. Let me sell you a couple more of these. And then, one of those. Few of these. That's too much. Ah, fuck it. I'll be willing to take the loss on that 4 ore. The other merchant is actually at the top, across the bridge from where Drake is standing. Alright, so we've got the list. Now, this list, of course, we can take it straight to Diego, and that's the last. Apart from, I realized that we never turned in our recipe to Dexter, but apart from that, that's the last thing we need to do to join the old camp. But we can also use that list and take it to Laris. And truth be told, if my memory serves me correctly, we can actually do both of them. Turning it into the new camp first, and then turning it into the old camp, and then joining the old camp, makes no difference. We just get an extra, 200 experience or whatever for it, so might as well do it. And that's what we will do at the start of the next episode. But for now, we need to speak with Aleph again and see about this key to the storeroom. Now, he is back at work because the guard actually happens to be watching this time. But he won't mind us interrupting him.
Do you know anything about the key for the chest in the storage shed?
Well, that depends.
On how much ore I'll give you?
You learn fast.
I sure do. So you might as well try and start with the lowest amount you can and work your way up from there, because that's how, that's a haggling principle I learned from Pawn Stars.
Is 15 ore all right with you?
15 ore? I don't know anything about a key.
30 ore should be enough.
All right. I happen to have the key here.
Good luck.
Well...
And that's the gist of that. 30 ore gets us the key. We can get into the storeroom, but of course we have to distract the guard first. Now this drop down here, you could use it as a shortcut to get where we need to go. There are loads of mine crawlers down there, and we are certainly not in shape to deal with them just yet. Which is why I'm saving a lot of the rest of this mine for the point in time, the quest chain where we return to this place later. Alright, so we have to distract this fellow somehow. Truth be told, he's not nearly as hard as distracting Aaron, simply because we don't get a choice in the matter.
Listen, Ian and the others are sitting at the bottom having grilled meat.
What? Without me? Well, I'll collect my share.
Indeed you will, you clever boy. So we don't get to be creative with that guy. The nature of the ruse is decided for us. But with this key, we have the ability to open these chests. A couple scrolls in that one, nothing too valuable. In this one, another scroll, a fireball, which is much more valuable. Over 200 ore, a few beers, and a couple apples. So not a bad haul out of that one. Certainly much more valuable than its counterpart. So Ulbert is kind of standing over here now.
Hey, you there?
Whoops.
I guess I must have been mistaken. Have a good day.
So he's not quite as difficult to convince of our good intentions as Aaron was. He's a bit easier, a bit more naive. But thankfully, in spite of all the trouble we've caused here, no one really holds us accountable for it. And so we can make off with our spoils and be on our merry way. Which we shall do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you can endure all the little graphical jargon that is pissing me off, right? But apart from that, I think we've made some good progress here. The next episode should see us joining the camp of our desire, which, if I haven't made that clear already, will be the old camp. I don't know why. I've always just held a sort of attachment for the old camp. It's always been my favorite, just because I feel like it's the most in tune with some of the developments of the story later, and just sort of results in more slightly deeper character development and story development, which, in truth, those kind of developments in the Gothic games and most of Piranha Bytes games have never really been all that deep, so kind of have to take it where you can get it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you all the very next time.